what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're in Michigan, and guess what? I have some Detroit muscle for you. This is it right here. This is a 2022 Dodge Challenger Super Stock. But before we get into this supercharged, super intense type of vehicle, let's talk about what's going on here. In Detroit, you have the big three. Obviously, General Motors, Ford, and of course, that Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram combination. Now, with this Dodge Challenger Super Stock, we are talking about the highest level currently available from Mopar when it comes to horsepower. Now, if we were to pick a tough competitor to this vehicle, it would definitely be coming from the Ford stables with the Shelby GT500. Both of these vehicles, the Super Stock and the GT500, feature supercharged V8s, but each of them have a little bit different approach to not only kind of producing that power, but also what is the intended purpose of that power. So what I want to find out is this Go Mango Challenger Super Stock a better muscle car than a Shelby GT500? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2022 Mopar and find out if it really is Mopar or no car. Let's check it out. Right off the bat, I just love the presence of this thing. And when you're comparing it to the Shelby GT500, this definitely has that more signature look of a muscle car. Right off the bat, you're gonna have a wider vehicle. This is actually wider than the GT500. And when you look at the GT500 is already wider than a Mustang GT, but yet we get that extra width, of course, with those fender flares, that massive splitter that's there to stop the air from going underneath the vehicle and give us some downforce, especially if you're getting down that quarter mile, 1,320 feet. This might be the better recipe in this Super Stock. Now, coming across the front, I love the way that they've been able to incorporate using ram air, not only on the hood, but also by hollowing out those inner lighting effects. You can see the Hellcat badge illuminated on the interior, full LED lighting, just like on the GT500, but you're getting more air to get sucked down into that supercharged V8. We got our SRT badge, and that's one of those things. Let me know if you think that the Hellcat badge is more menacing or that Shelby GT500 Cobra emblem is that more menacing for a muscle car. But definitely from the front, if you're looking for muscle car, I think this hits the nail on the head a little bit harder than the GT500. Now, when we get up onto that hood, you get to have it your way when you go Super Stock. So you could actually have this satin black painted hood, or you could have Go Mango sprayed all over it. You get a little bit more variety in the color options and the way that you could spec it, even though this is not a jailbreak, which you could even do more. And if you haven't seen my video comparing this to a jailbreak, definitely click the link at the end of this one. But with the twin air inlet, this really is going to bring lots of air. The one thing that this doesn't have that the GT500 definitely does have is a heat extractor. So we got lots of air coming in, cool, dense air, but the hot air has nowhere to go. So I wish they would have done some type of heat extractor, maybe even on the fenders, to get some of that hot air out. So GT500 definitely takes the cake when it comes to that and the hood. Now, as we come around the bend, and I got to go really wide because we got that wide body, what are we talking about in the Super Stock? Super Stock, you actually get the Dodge Demon wheels. So yes, the Demon from 2018, those are the same wheels. Now, it's a little bit different color. It's like a dark granite metallic gray finish, but you got that simple 5-star design, 18-inch wheel. If you're getting a Shelby GT500, Shelby GT500 has a larger diameter wheel. It's a 20-inch wheel. Now, here's the reason why we want to go for 18-inch. First of all, it's less weight, less rotating mass. Second of all, from the factory, we have those Nitto drag radials. And up front and out back, we're talking about 315 on the width. So you're getting a wider wheel and tire combination on the Superstock compared to the GT500. The GT500 has some width too to the meaty rubber at all four corners, but it's set up a little bit more for handling purposes, where this is definitely set up for the drag strip. Another area where the GT500 has a little bit more is going to be braking. This has, believe it or not, 4 piston calipers. So it's actually got a smaller caliper for less weight, smaller diameter on the rotors. These rotors are 14.6 inches in diameter. The rotors on your GT500 are over 16 inches in diameter, and you got 6 piston calipers. Now, on the GT500, we have the magnetic ride suspension called MagneRide, kind of reads the road every nanosecond. This has adaptive Bilstein suspension that, guess what, has been tuned specifically so you could outrun Dom Toretto in the quarter mile. That's what you're getting with the Superstock. Let's continue. So down the side, of course, you're gonna get your awesome badging, just like on the Shelby GT500. On our Superstock, we got that Hellcat with the red eye. That's actually an emerald red eye, emerald ruby, because it's, instead of it being green, it's got that reddish tinge, but it's an emerald that's turned into a ruby and placed right in the eye to give it that menacing look. From the side, you're definitely screaming muscle car. There's no big, huge spoiler on a pedestal, nothing like that. We do have a spoiler, but we'll talk more about that when we get to the back. But the side of the vehicle has that wonderful, classic, just, I'm a muscle car and I'm not ashamed of it. Working our way towards the rear, like I said, 315s on the width, 40 series on the sidewall, so you got a beefy sidewall. But the great news is to deflate these down, it's gonna help give you more traction, more grip, more stick as you're leaving the Christmas tree. Where the GT500 will eat the lunch of this Hellcat is gonna be on a road course. But as we swing around back, I love the way that this one is optioned. Satin black hood, roof, and trunk lid. You could do one, you could do two, or you could do all three. We got the special drag strip spoiler. So this is not your standard spoiler, drag strip spoiler that's actually extended past the rear trunk area to give us that perfect amount of balance between airstream and downforce. Because remember, we're talking about going fast in a straight line and then ripping it around back, full LED lighting, and then you got that simple diffuser. I think this is another area where the GT500 just trumps this Challenger Superstock. Is I wish they would do something a little bit more aggressive with the lower diffuser for channeling air, and definitely something on the exhaust, but definitely wide, that's for sure. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what kind of power we're talking about in the Superstock. All right, guys, we got that muscle car hood pop. Now, one of the great things is, no matter if you're looking at a GT500 or this Superstock, the engine compartment is perfect beauty and attention to detail. What do we got? That massive top-mounted supercharger. Love the way it's got the SRT badge with the red eye. There it is, that emerald ruby dropped in there. And of course, on the covers on the side where the valve covers are, you're looking at that Supercharged Hemi V8 badge and that bright green supercharger belt. But what are we looking at when we're talking about horsepower? 6.2 liters of supercharged goodness. That's going to equate to 807 horsepower, 707 pound-feet of torque. Now, if we stop there and we compare this to the GT500, we got more power. GT500 has 760 horsepower, 625 pound-feet of torque. So more torque, more horsepower. 0 to 60 in this vehicle, if you could hook it up, is 3.1 seconds. In the GT500, it's 3.4 seconds. This has a TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic, where remember the GT500 has that Tremec 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Now, quarter mile in this Superstock, you're looking right around 10.2 seconds at 132 miles per hour. Compare that to the GT500, it's 11.3 seconds. So you're definitely gonna have that faster time at the drag strip. Top speed though, because of the 315s, all four corners, and them being Nitto drag radials, it's tire limited to 168 miles per hour, whereas the top speed on a Shelby GT500 is 180 miles per hour. MPGs for this vehicle, 13 in the city, 22 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 4,454 pounds. So about almost 300 pounds more than your GT500, but it's got all the necessities for drag strip perfection, including the SRT power chiller, where you could use the AC to cool your air intake temps. But why don't we go ahead, enough talk, let's hear the sound of this Supercharged V8 in our Superstock. All right, guys, we're inside this Challenger Superstock. I got my On Throttle Raity's Rise t-shirt on because we're gonna be going on throttle. I promise you that. And I know what you're saying to yourself, Joe, I gotta pull the pin on this decision. I gotta pull that answer out of my head of which muscle car do I get? I know the days are numbered. I love the GT500, I love the Challenger, I even love the Camaro, but it's down to Mopar and Ford. How much is this one? So MSRP, depending on how you option it, this particular Superstock is optioned to MSRP of $97,000. Let's see what you get for the money and how it stacks up to the GT500, to the door panels. So the styling is gonna be kind of balanced between the GT500 and the Challenger. They're both, many would say, dated, but I do like the way this has the premium interior, all nice stitching, the microfiber suede material, and of course, you got a good size cup holder for a bottle of Surge. The door pocket on the back side's a little tight, so maybe 2 Little Debbie snack cookies, and that's about it. But going from the door panel to the dash, we got the SRT badge, you got more of that nice large dash area, much larger, not only outside but also on the inside. Here we have the optional carbon fiber trim. Now you can also get optional carbon fiber on the GT500. What I like about the one in this car, it doesn't have a high gloss finish, so it's not gonna produce a lot of glare. 8.4-inch infotainment system, guess what? The Shelby has an 8-inch infotainment system. Here's where the Challenger just kicks drag strip butt. Check it out, we got launch control, easy to set, much easier than in the GT500. We got all the different readouts, shift light, you got the SRT power chiller. Shelby and Ford does not have anything like that. Even activating the line lock, yes, the Shelby has it, but it's so simple on this vehicle. You got your different drive modes. I love the way it shows the powertrain. You can stay auto. We're gonna be going full track, 807 freaking horsepower. Unbelievable. Plus you got all your climate controls. Heated seats, ventilated seats, dual climate, all within that Uconnect 4. It is the older operating software, but it still works very, very well, especially in this vehicle. Where it comes up short is definitely resolution of the camera. A little bit better resolution in the GT500, but you do have trajectory, which is really nice. Put it back in a park, and there you go. You got all your layout of all the important buttons, especially launch control. That's gonna help you have that perfect pass at the drag strip. More carbon fiber. This is gonna control that 8-speed automatic. The GT500 has a 7-speed DCT. It really depends on what you're using the vehicle for. I think that the ZF 8-speed is one of the best in the business. We got enough space here for some Tic Tacs or some Mentos to cool your breath after smoking the competition. The red key. So what I like about Dodge is you may let somebody borrow your Superstock. If you're crazy enough, you could give them the black key, which actually cuts horsepower. This red key unlocks the 807 horsepower. I wish Ford had something like that with the GT500, especially if you were bringing it in for maintenance or, like I said, crazy enough to let a friend drive it. Soft material, open it up, you got plenty of room in here. What you could put, I would say you could put 78 Shelby GT500 Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels. So every time you beat one at the strip, take one of those Hot Wheels and keep it in here. You can keep about almost 80 of them, right about 74 of them in this area. And what's nice is there's felt lining, so you're not gonna scratch them. Seats, much more comfortable than what's in the GT500, but they don't have as great a bolstering. I do love the SRT badge and the Hellcat badge, more microfiber suede material, manual controls for the passenger. I got electric assist, not full electric assist, but I got electric assist on the driver's side. And then check this out. Rear seat delete, it only costs you $1. If you want to have rear seat delete on a Shelby GT500, you got to go for the higher package, and that brings quite a bit of extra price to the MSRP. And we have Alcantara headliner, which is not even available on a GT500. But why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you behind the instrumentation and the steering wheel in our Challenger Superstar. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Just like in the Shelby GT500, if you don't go with the Recaros, you are going to get power on the bottom, but manual on the back portion. I wish it was electric. I'm definitely zonking that. Pedal box, very similar to the GT500. You have brake pedal and throttle, and both of them have a small dead pedal, and they're not aluminum, so they both get a zonk. So right now it's pretty much like even Stevens, depending on how you spec it. Steering wheel, it's close, but I'm gonna say it goes to the GT500. I love the Alcantara. I love the stitching. That needs to be carbon fiber. That needs to be aluminum. That needs to be something other than plastic. And then this horn button, it even has the older orange peel finish. I don't like that. Why do we have smooth finish up on the dash, but then this orange peel stuff? So this needs to just go, and I would like it just to say SRT and let it be black or red, no chrome. You do have massive paddles. They are smaller. I know you've been told that maybe before, that you got something smaller than somebody else, but these paddles are smaller than the ones in the GT500. And then the dash. I like the retro look with the analog and the digital display in the center. The good news about that is you got a plethora of information, but if you want to be totally new and contemporary and have the latest technology, the GT500 does have that full digital LED display. Now, I don't give a damn about the trunk, and if you want to know who has the bigger one, it's the Challenger. What I'm ready for, hopefully you are as well, we're going on throttle in our Superstock. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 Challenger Superstock, comparing it to the GT500. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, yeah! Smoke them if you got them. And that's the freaking awesome thing about this vehicle is, like, even with those Nitto drag radials, you gotta build some heat into them, and you just got so much power. But it's also interesting because with the wider 315s up front, I'm not gonna call this a canyon carver of any type, but it actually handles pretty well for being such a heavy vehicle. We gotta watch out for the squirrels. They get just blown away and hypnotized by what's going on with all the supercharger sound and everything. But really cool how it takes that AC and actually routes it to the engine to cool that intake. Compared to the GT500, you're getting a lot more supercharger whine and more thrust, that's for sure. All right, guys, from a roll, of course we gotta do it. You know how it is here on Raiti's Rides. The shirt says it. On throttle, here we go. It just pushes you back into the seat. It reminds me when I was a kid and my dad would take me for a ride in his GT350 or his friends had all other sorts of muscle cars. Like there was my dad's friend Tommy the painter. He had an SS 396 Camaro, and that thing would push you so hard into the seat you thought you would break it. But what's awesome is you're getting this usable technology to help you with the performance. And that's what makes it so amazing on both cars. The GT500, just the same. I mean, it's mind-blowing fast, but this really is that classic muscle car, perfect for the drag strip, with all the drag strip goodies that you could ever want. All right, guys, we are driving around, getting a feel for this Challenger Superstock. It's crazy because even with its pure intention and focus as a drag strip car, I got the ventilated seats on, we got dual climate control in here, all the great technology from the launch control and everything else. And when you're at a light, this is the car that when somebody rolls up next to you, they're not gonna wanna challenge you because they're not gonna know who they're messing with, because this Superstock just, you know there's something different about it, and that's what makes it extra special, especially with the 18-inch wheels and tires. I mean, when you hit this thing off the line, it really gets up and goes. And since nobody's really behind us, are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Yeah! Unbelievable. And I love the way the downshifts are too, very purposeful from that 8-speed. All right, guys, are you ready? I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Golly! This may be tire speed limited, but I'm telling you right now, that speedometer needle would almost look like it was doing full 360-degree spins with how hard the acceleration is in this. You can feel the Bilstein suspension working. It softens up. Whereas with the Magna Ride, you're gonna have a different driving experience in the GT500. Definitely more tuned for carving those corners, especially through the canyons and whatnot where you live. Whereas this, you're living your life a quarter mile at a time, just like Dom Toretto, and it feels oh so damn good. And then just, it's smooth, man. It's just so smooth, even when you're not moving fast, but then you go on throttle, you punch it, on throttle. Ah! Like I said, those shifts, they just fire off like a freaking Gatling gun. What's great about the speed of this is that it's getting to the ground. And that's what's super important. It's getting to the ground. With the GT500, I'm not gonna take anything away from that Tremec. That Tremec 7-speed DCT is a thing of glory, but really, really awesome in this Challenger Superstock. I mean, this is freaking crazy, man. Let's go in this little U-turn area onto this other highway. You can feel those 315s just gripping the road. But a lot of body roll. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, this is gonna out-handle a GT500. No, you're not gonna out-handle a GT500, but when it comes time to get on it, that's where things get really, really crazy, especially when it comes to just looping it around and having that ability to have some fun when the road turns, but like I said, also having that crazy, crazy ability to just, when you come off the line, punch it. And then you don't have to worry about merging or anything. Like, it's not a problem. You just get on the loud pedal, go on throttle, and you're there. But we need to get back and wrap this one up. I am churning through some fossil fuel going on throttle. We need to get back, wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a Dodge Detroit muscle kind of day here with this Superstock. First of all, I got to thank everybody over at Dodge, David, Darren, the whole crew, for getting us access to this 2022 Superstock. Let me know which way you would spend your muscle car money. Are you going GT500? Are you going Challenger Superstock? I'm dying to know which way you would choose in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raity's Rides family. We got to give it up to LG Raiti, working that camera like a champ. I know which way she would go. She loves this Challenger Super Stock, especially in Go Mango. Show Lori some muscle car love in that comment section. Thank you, LG Raiti, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.